Hey everyone, good afternoon. I am just jumping on here today to talk a little bit about the state of video marketing. And obviously I'm doing a live stream. Hey everyone. Don't need that to be talking to me at the same time. But the biggest thing with video marketing is consistency and doing it. And if you look at the statistics, I'm not going to go through all the statistics on where marketers say to be and how many people are finding success. Although I am going to go through one thing that I found, which I thought was kind of helpful. But to start with, I am going to talk a little bit about what kind of video content. So there's something like this, which is live streaming, and that's one thing because you can have more authentic connection with live streaming because you can jump on here. If someone has a question or a comment, they can put it in the chat, depending on what platform you are on. I'm live streaming on StreamYard to 8 different social media sites at once. So not all of those comments would come through to what I'm looking at right now, but a lot of the Facebook ones would. I would be able to answer those questions and interact with people that are actually watching it. And it just brings people a more authentic experience, for lack of a better word. Interactive video content. So obviously this is also interactive because if I'm doing it live, what better way to interact with other people than to do it live and answer questions. And especially, and what I don't do right now is do it at the same time every day, but I know people that do like a podcast at the same time every day or once a week or whatever it is. And so you start finding that you have the same people watching every time, which is great. But personalized video content. So really making sure that you know what your viewers are wanting and what they're engaging with. And I mean, I think that's a critical piece. And really knowing, like, if you're going after a specific demographic in, your industry, what do they want? What do they want to know more about? What do they want to interact with? All those types of things. And then other things that are really important to start looking at are the short form videos. So if you're not doing short form content, so those are, like a minute, and like YouTube shorts can only be a minute, up to a minute. TikTok can obviously go a little bit higher than a minute. Instagram Reels, I believe, is 90 seconds now. Facebook Reels, I don't even know what the top limit is on Facebook Reels, if it's the same as Instagram or not. But that short form content, because people don't want to sit on here and maybe watch this video, which is going to be a little bit longer. But I can also cut this video up into shorter pieces and then use those as short form content as well. So for those who don't want to see a longer video, they can look at that later. Vertical video optimization, that's another key point. So vertical video optimization, so all my short form content, I cut up for the most part, except for LinkedIn, I cut it as vertical. So anything that's going to go on Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, TikTok, anyone else in there? YouTube Shorts. All those are vertical. And so they're filling. So if someone's on their phone, because we're on these phones more and more, right? So if they're on their phone, they're seeing like the video in the entire screen. So it's not just like a video that's going across here and that's all you're seeing. It's a video in the entire screen. And so that's another key piece. And then AI generated video content. And I talked about, I think last week or a couple of weeks ago, a program I use called Video.ai, where it cuts up already produced video content. So if I've got a podcast or if I've got like something like this that I use and I cut it up, it can cut it up into shorter clips. But there's so many new AI tools, and I have not researched all the different AI tools yet for video, but there's so many different AI tools that you can use for video. And I will start researching those a little bit more and come back to you on more information about those. But the Video.ai is like one of my favorite tools because I can import, like once I finish this video today, what I do is I download it and then I import it into Video.ai and it generates those clips, because then I can use those shorter clips, those micro clips like we were just talking about, on Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels and TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So those are all content just from this longer form content that I'm creating right now. And then another big piece that people are looking for in the world of video is 360-degree videos. So I have personally not done those, but those immersive experiences. And I mean, I think we've seen those immersive experiences pop up more recently with the like Van Gogh exhibits. I think it's Van Gogh. I'm trying to remember who I saw. Did I see Van Gogh? That was down here in Miami not too long ago. But it's like it's all around you, so you're immersed in it. And that's another experience. Now, obviously, it's only for a certain target market that you would do something like that for. So it's not for everyone to use in their marketing. And obviously, not everyone's going to have a 360, camera or the capability of doing a 360 immersive experience. And then finally, the podcast and video synergy. So podcasts, have been around for a long time, and forever they were like audio only, right? And then video started getting more and more traction. So now a lot of people, including myself, are doing podcasts that are not only audio, but video as well. And I think that's a key piece, because having those two versions, again, I can do a 45-minute podcast. And so people will listen to it on the audio side because, you can go work out and you can listen, or you can walk and you can be listening to it at the same time. But are they going to watch a 45-minute video? Probably not going to watch the whole thing 45 minutes, right? But maybe I can use that same content, which I do, to cut up into those shorter micro clips and really highlight key points in the podcast. So people are still getting a feel for myself. They're still getting a feel for my guest, but they're not needing to watch the whole video. And maybe they find someone that they do have synergy with, and then they go back and watch that whole video, right? So those are all kind of key points in the world of video marketing. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share a tab today and see if I can make it bigger so I can actually see it. But this is kind of interesting because it's different stats. And I haven't this came from a blog that I found online, but I thought it was kind of interesting because it talks about the different platforms. And I often get asked questions about specific platforms and kind of how they interact, video interacts with them. And obviously video for YouTube YouTube is a video platform. And it's the number 2 search engine behind Google because it's owned by Google. It's optimized by Google. So it's a key piece. A lot of times you'll get your videos to come up in a Google search because it's transcribing, YouTube's transcribing all your videos. So that's a key piece. So really looking at, people use YouTube a lot. So think of how you use it. You might go on there and check out a how-to video, or maybe you're looking for something specific in business, and that's all on YouTube. And if you look at these stats, and I'm just going to read a couple of them and kind of keep scrolling, but 83% of consumers worldwide prefer YouTube to watch video content. Well, YouTube, and especially the younger markets, the 20s, 30s, even teen market. So if that's your target market, YouTube's key because that's where they are. They're on YouTube, they're on IG, they're on TikTok. Like that seems to be like the places they're on to really check out kind of where they're going with their world, right? And then if we look at Instagram, 58% of people say they have become more interested in a brand or product after seeing it in the stories. So remember, we have different things in Instagram. So we have Reels, which are videos. We have stories, which show up a different way on the app. So stories are good to, I always tell people like Reels are great to get kind of new traffic. And then stories are, great to kind of keep content in front of people on, with new traffic. And, marketers are looking for ways to get in front of you. If you're the consumer or your company's the consumer, these are all different ways from a video perspective to get in front of you. And then Facebook, now they're saying the optimal video length for engagement on Facebook is between 2 and 5 minutes. So obviously people are spending more time on video on Facebook, but it's a little bit different crowd, right, on Facebook than it might be on Instagram or on TikTok. If you look at the average age on these different platforms, and that'll be something for another day I'll have to hit on, where those ages are nowadays. And then TikTok remains largely untapped, with only about 1 in 10 video marketers having given it a shot. Now, I'm on TikTok, and I still get asked about, what I think about TikTok and what I think about marketing on TikTok. In reality, if you're concerned about people getting your information from TikTok, the Chinese government or whatever the concern is, more than likely, if they really want your information, they can get your information. Doesn't matter whether you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, or you're on whatever. I mean, we're obviously, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever you want to say, we are being watched, from different ways. I mean, it was interesting. I was just talking to my mother this week, and she said, yeah, Google keeps, sending me more information about, she follows Indiana University basketball. And I said, well, it's not Google. Google's sending you the information because you searched for it. And now they're popping those stories into your feed because you've searched for it. So that's what they're tracking, is what you search for. So don't discount TikTok just because it's owned by a Chinese company or whatever, because it's still, the algorithm on TikTok is still a little bit more open than the other algorithms. So you're able to pick up more followers. And once you hit 1,000 followers, you can stream live on TikTok as well. So 9/16, again, it's more vertical video on TikTok, but you can put a video out there for up to 10 minutes. So if you want to do a vertical video up to 10, articles, things like that. And I think it's really a way to get in front of more people when you share videos. So I've started getting more traction by doing these lives daily on LinkedIn because the feed and the algorithm's picking it up more. So I do suggest using LinkedIn, whether you're using it with video, without video. I mean, but again, and I've said this before, video is so easy to create nowadays, especially with these things, these phones. This will create a 4K video. Obviously, I'm using to me, this phone is better than my camera on my computer, which is what I'm using right now. But I'm using this for a reason because I wanted to be able to share the screen and things like that. But just don't discount video. Make sure you're using it, especially if you're a solopreneur. Make sure you're using it. If you have questions about how to use it or the best practices for how to get to your ideal client, please reach out to me. If you go to badcatmedia.com and you click on our contact page, you can set up a complimentary consultation. I'm happy to help in any way I can, but video marketing continues to get bigger and bigger each year. And I think that's a key piece that we need to really embrace and use to our advantage in the world of video and in the world of marketing. Because if you're not, people do business with who they know, like, and trust. And I think we're becoming a society, especially after COVID, and people are working from home more. There's still plenty of people out, don't get me wrong, especially down here in Florida. They all seem to be out right now, but there's still plenty of people out. But, the key thing is, how do we stay in front of people? And people will do business with who they know, like, and trust. So if they don't meet you face to face, if you're not doing a lot of in-person networking, or maybe you're doing a lot of online marketing, video is the way to go, because people can get a feel for who you are from video. They can get a feel a little bit from an image, but an image is still a 2D. It's not your voice. So it's not who you are. Excuse me. So make sure you're incorporating video. And if you have questions, as I said, we do offer video content services for social media, where we can film longer form content and then cut that into shorter form content for you. You obviously do need to either be local or pay for travel for us to come in to do it, but we do offer that if you have any questions about that. But again, just reach out to me at batcatmedia.com. You can either give us a call at 561-276-4422 or go on the contact page and set up a complimentary consultation. And I would love to talk with you and help you in any way I can. I hope you're having a great day and a great new year and happy day. Bye for now.